Hi, this is Alex Helmbrecht, the Sports Information Director at Chadron State College, and I'm sitting here this afternoon with Coach Brad Smith. Obviously, Chadron State College has been in the news, and we'll talk about the football game last Saturday against New Mexico Highlands. But first, we need to address the recent news involving Chadron State College and its football program. Last Thursday, Chadron State self-reported concerns to the NCAA that violations may have occurred in the athletic program. The school is working with the NCAA in a joint investigation regarding football fundraising activities and various financial transactions not part of the Chadron State Foundation. Then, on Monday, Dr. Park assigned Brad Smith, the former coach at Chadron State from 1987 to 2004 and current athletic director, the reins of the football program for the rest of the 2011 season. Bill O'Boyle is still employed at Chadron State College, but Brad will be the coach for the remainder of 2011. We can't comment anymore on the ongoing investigation. And Brad, I know this is far from a good situation, but I know you are going to do your best to ensure Chadron State's rich tradition on the football field, which you helped restore in 1987.
Alex, you're exactly right. You know, as you mentioned, it is a tough time for us. It's a tough time for all of us. And sometimes adversity will bring people together and make them stronger. And I hope that this is the case in this instance. You know, Coach O'Boyle has just done a tremendous job with this football team, and it's unfortunate right now that timing had to happen during the midseason. But as Janie mentioned, and several of the press releases, it gives him an opportunity to focus on some of the allegations and things that are going on with the NCAA, and it will also help Chadron State's athletic program and our football program in the long run.
Obviously, you're no stranger to being a football coach. You're on the sidelines for years here at Chadron State. You're the school's all-time winningest coach, the RMAC coach of the century, so, of course, a lot of accolades. But what do you plan on doing on the sidelines? It's been a while since you've been there.
Well, you know, that's one thing that we've talked about with the Coach O'Boyle staff. You know, Todd Auer and Chris Stein and Craig Jersel and all the GAs and everyone involved with the program. We discussed it, and one of the things that I am not going to do is go in and start throwing them offenses and defenses and everything else. Basically, what I'm going to try and do is be a figurehead, add some stability, fill the hole that's going to be in all their hearts that Coach O'Boyle had before. You know, there's no way that I'm going to try and replace Coach O'Boyle or even step into his shoes. But yet I want to be there for these kids to let them know that if they've got questions about what's going on, if they got questions about some needs or anything else, that we'll be there for them. You know, Coach Auer and Coach Stein, Coach O'Boyle's put together a great staff. These guys know what they're doing. They broke down the films on Sunday versus Western New Mexico. They've got a good look at what they're doing. So primarily, I'm just going to be on the sideline to add support and maybe do a little clock management with those guys when they get involved in the wrapped up calling the game and everything. But for the most part, they're to support.
Well, Brad, you know that obviously the players have been well coached ever since they've been on campus here. Chadron State has always boasted one of the top coaching staffs in the nation, and everyone involved is going to try to make the best out of this. Luckily, the game next Saturday at Western New Mexico will offer kind of a lengthy distraction.
It will, and that's important. You know, you mentioned the coaching staff, and then backtracking some of the accolades that you said that were bestowed upon me. Those things don't happen without guys like Bill O'Boyle and Todd Auer and Craig Jersel and Chris Stein. They don't happen. I mean, that's the great thing about football coaching is that everyone involved in it has their hand in it and has their footprint in it. And it's unfortunate that oftentimes the head coach gets all of the credit or gets the majority of the credit. But I've been blessed with a lot of great people, and I still am, both administratively, on the field, with players and coaches and friends.
Well, on to some good news. Chadron State ended a recent two-game losing streak last Saturday against New Mexico Highlands in a 42-14 Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference win. Really, for all intents and purposes, the game was over after the first quarter. Chadron State scored 24 straight points. Strangely enough, New Mexico Highlands ran 8 plays. 5 of those plays ended up with Chadron State recovering a fumble. There's 13 combined turnovers in the game. New Mexico Highlands also threw 2 interceptions, one of which was returned for a touchdown. So, Coach, you're going to be working with a team with a defense that's been fired up.
They are. If that can't excite them, I don't know what can. You know, as a spectator and being wearing my athletic director hat that day, it was an exciting day for the offense. You know, it almost seemed to be where Todd couldn't wait for New Mexico Highlands to get their hands on the ball because he was almost guaranteed another turnover. I made a comment to our longtime statistician and historian Con Marshall that I said, Con, have we ever seen so many fumbles or turnovers in your life in the first quarter? And he couldn't remember back. So I'm sure, Alex, when you go through the record books and take a look at some of the defensive turnovers that were caused, that this is going to be one of the all-time highs.
Yeah, it certainly was a strange game. New Mexico Highlands kind of came onto the field a little bit late. Started a redshirt freshman linebacker at quarterback. Unfortunately, they had injuries at their quarterback position. And he actually didn't do too bad of a job, threw a touchdown pass in the fourth quarter. But it was good for Chadron State to get back on the winning track. Kind of switching gears, looking forward this weekend, the Eagles have a long trip ahead of them. They're going to play in Silver City, New Mexico, roughly a 17-hour trip. The Mustangs are 4-3 on the season, 3-2 in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. And really, they're a good team, much improved from years past. Coach Adam Clark is in his second year and has really done a lot to change the culture at Western New Mexico. Their 2 losses are both in the conference by a combined 10 points, so it's going to be a tall task for the Eagles. Coach, kind of just dealing with the travel issue, I believe it's a 16 to 17-hour bus rides. When is the team leaving?
The team's going to leave at about 5:30 a.m. on Thursday morning. And right now, after some of the coaches talk to the players and everything, I think there's a consensus that they want to go through the night and travel as far as they can and get there, and then have some time to rest and catch up with their rest on Friday and get a good workout and get some of the bus legs out from underneath them and get a good practice in and be ready to go Saturday. It is a long trip, Alex, and traditionally we've been able to fly there. And then this year the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference made some changes administratively as far as Western New Mexico has always kind of helped pay and has paid for the flight, but with the admission of Black Hills State University and some of the changes made, that process changed in a hurry. The presidents voted that they would no longer have to pay for the flight. So this year it's going to be a little bit of a travel experience for us, and I'm sure these kids are road warriors already, and they're used to some of it. And it might be a good time to really bring a lot of kids together, because when you seem to travel, you really start to develop a lot of camaraderie and just take things from where it's at and go with it.
The Eagles are 5-0 all-time against the Mustangs. The average score has been 35-8, so some of the games haven't been close, although for those of you who watched the game last year in Chadron, the Mustangs were a couple plays away from making it a very competitive game. This will be the third time Chadron State's played in Silver City, as Coach mentioned. They flew the previous 2 times, and the first time that Chadron State played there in 2007 was where Danny Woodhead set the all-time rushing record for the NCAA at that time. So plenty of good memories there in Silver City. And Coach, I know that you're busy. You have a bunch of stuff to get going to. I want to just thank you for your time, and good luck at Western New Mexico. That game kicks off at noon.
Thanks, Alex. And remember, please remind the people that Eagles are number 1 in their hearts, and keep pulling for them.
Thanks, Coach.